So if you watched the new Mass Effect Andromeda release trailer, which if you haven't I suggest you do, many of us were surprised and super hyped over the whole teaser, but BioWare left us with many questions left unanswered, which is typical for BioWare, but then again, who wouldn't for a game they haven't released yet? But screw the waiting, speculation will devour our souls. So because of this, I'll be educating you to the best of my ability about what Mass Effect Andromeda is all about. Links to my sources will be in the description of this video. So let's go back to the past when Mass Effect Andromeda was hinted to be in development. It all started way back in September of 2012, nearly 7 months after Mass Effect 3 was released. A Mass Effect blog post created by Aaron Flynn, the general manager of BioWare Canada, gave a hint that in the future a new fictional universe, the Mass Effect universe, will be in development at BioWare. Aaron then states, quote, "Casey Hudson continues to oversee the development of our new Mass Effect project," unquote. To those who have read this post, this created an orgy of speculation, however, word never really got out. In addition to this blog post, BioWare stated that the Mass Effect franchise will continue but that it won't revolve around Shepard. Also, BioWare stated that Mass Effect 3 players should keep their save files. Now this is when the blog post ended, but I'm going to assume that you're going to be able to import your ME3 saves to Andromeda, which is pretty cool, but that doesn't mean Shepard's gonna be there, guys, just keep that in mind. Unless it's the Shepard that you use as your custom face, but a different voice, because that could always be a thing, who the fuck knows. Later in the E3 conference in June 9th of 2014, BioWare officially announced the development of Mass Effect Andromeda. Then on the 15th of June 2015, BioWare released the official Mass Effect Andromeda release trailer that surprised nearly everyone. This is when Mass Effect Andromeda was born. So now that I got you up to date with the early hints and signs that Mass Effect Andromeda was on its way, let's get to business. So, what is Mass Effect Andromeda? Well, in order to understand the game's origins, we need to take a look at its new name, Andromeda. Now, I'm pretty sure a good majority of us pronounce it Andromeda, something around that, even I did, but it's actually pronounced Andromeda. In real life, Andromeda is the closest major galaxy from our galaxy, the Milky Way. Now let me reiterate, it's not the closest galaxy to us, it's just the closest giant glowing ass galaxy closest to us. Fun fact, we're like a midget when comparing the Milky Way's size to Andromeda. In addition, Andromeda is estimated to have somewhere around 1 trillion stars. We on the other hand have an estimated 400 billion stars in our galaxy. Also, later this will make sense, but to travel from Earth to Andromeda would take about 2.5 million light years. So before you ask, yes, Mass Effect Andromeda does indeed take place in the Andromeda galaxy. So let's talk about the setting of Mass Effect Andromeda. Although there's been a lot of rumors and speculation that Andromeda takes place during the same time frame of Mass Effect 2 or 3, it's been confirmed that Mass Effect Andromeda takes place long after the events of Mass Effect 3. Now the real question is, how long does long after mean? Okay, this will make sense, but hear me out first. I believe 2 out of the 3 choices for Mass Effect 3's ending were too good to be true, and with the refusal ending just being too dumb to even be a choice, I believe Shepard chose the much more plausible ending, the destroy ending. Then after we rebuilt what was destroyed, we re-engineered the majority of the Reaper's technology, with one specific technology worth noting, the Reaper's FTL or faster than light technology, including what we need to rebuild, which is the mass relays. With this technology, we'd be able to travel great distances faster than before, and with further development of the FTL technology, in time, we'd be able to travel even faster and longer distances, a distance worthy of traveling that the Mass Effect universe wishes to go towards the Andromeda galaxy. So how does this all correlate with Mass Effect Andromeda's time frame? Well, to develop such a sophisticated FTL system to travel to Andromeda without taking a million light years to get there would take decades if not centuries to develop, and without the Reaper's FTL technology, it would probably take a lot longer, if not centuries. We'd also need to learn how to create cryogenic chambers, which by the looks of it we haven't, but the Protheans did, so re-engineering that technology wouldn't be an issue, but it would still take time to develop. Now, because it's clear in the Mass Effect universe that we could already travel faster than the speed of light, developing faster FTL technologies from both the Relays and the Reapers and ours, we'd probably be able to travel to Andromeda within a decade, century, or longer. This is where the cryogenic chambers come into effect. So afterwards, I believe it would take 20 to 50 years, maybe longer, to develop a faster FTL drive with the cryogenics included, not to mention that you gotta rebuild a lot of shit after the huge explosion that you had to go deal with. Then traveling from the Milky Way to Andromeda would take around 50 years to maybe even centuries depending on how well this technology is. In addition, I'd like to add that it appears like we've already been in the Andromeda galaxy for a decent amount of time, which is for another video I'll be making. But to finally conclude what I think the time frame is, I'd say around 2250s to the 2400s. Now, I'm not surprised if it goes even farther than that, to where maybe we're even in like the 2800s, but you know, this is just speculation. I have other theories that could assume the time frame would be a lot shorter, depending if we ever, you know, find out how to, you know, travel through a wormhole, you know. But it would, you know, I don't think it would make any sense with the Mass Effect universe. But then again, you know, we don't know. This is BioWare, guys. You know, they've surprised us very well with the ending of Mass Effect 3. Okay, that's a big one, alright? So, why are we in the Andromeda galaxy? This is probably one of the most frequently asked questions when trying to foresee a future of the Mass Effect series, but for now, the only thing we can do is use our knowledge of what we know from the new release trailer. In the beginning of the release trailer, you will notice that our protagonist is swiping through a list of video feeds showing what the planets look like. Now, this is why I suggest that we've been in the Andromeda galaxy for a decent amount of time. Enough time to set up satellite relays that send us video feeds of what the ground level of a planet looks like. In addition, we can see scanners that appear to be scanning for resources of some kind. Maybe even scanning the planets to see if it's habitable for us or other species. Now, why would we be doing this? Well, if we wanted to create successful colonies in the Andromeda galaxy, we would first need to find planets that are habitable, then find planets that contain valuable resources to sustain the everyday needs of what a civilization of the Mass Effect universe requires. I mean, we can't just go out without EZO, you know, that's what we need to travel, right? We need that kind of valuable resource. Examples of planets being harvested for its valuable resources can be seen all around the variety of solar systems in Mass Effect 2 and slightly 3. So scouting for planets to colonize and harvest valuable resources would be a great reason for these video feeds. Thus brings me to my conclusion that we're in the Andromeda galaxy because 1, we wish to colonize planets in that galaxy, which this will be confirmed later on. 2, it is quite clear that in Mass Effect Andromeda, humans and other races wish to explore the mysterious universe that we coincide in, as BioWare states that exploration is going to be a very big thing in Mass Effect Andromeda. Now yes, exploring Andromeda is cool and all, but what's the catch? Well, obviously we play a much larger role than just a planet hunter in this galaxy. With the N7 emblem on our protagonist's chest plate, and by the way, I'm going to say protagonist as of the guy in the video, not the actual player in the game, we can assure ourselves that we'll be getting our hands dirty while colonizing some planets. I mean, N7, come on guys, you know, just intense shit going on. But whose blood will be spilled? Well, on a confirmed source on GameSpot, apparently there's 2 new species added to the table, the Remnants, an ancient race that appears to have disappeared, and the Ket, a seemingly antagonistic race. It'd be pretty cool to see other races too. I mean, come on, Andromeda is freaking huge. Now, on the same source, one of the mission types are called Ket Outposts, which is an optional wave-based mode. If you destroy these Ket outposts, you reduce the Ket's power and you unlock additional narrative options in the region. This is a big hint that the Ket are possibly one of our main antagonists in Mass Effect Andromeda. Now, why does this involve N7 forces? It's not like we couldn't send lower ranks in the Alliance to help assist colonizing in Andromeda. Well, by the looks of it, the Ket or other new races seem to be a big enough threat in our ability to colonize that the N7 needed to get involved. I mean, it kind of makes sense because, you know, we're kind of going on somebody else's territory and claiming it for ours. I mean, come on, that's fucked up, right? So yeah, of course we're gonna have to be dealing with shit, but fuck that, man. From the N7, we're gonna come over here and take it anyway.
Back up in your ass with the resurrection. Is the group harder than an erection that shows no affection? They wanna ban us on Capitol Hill, cause it's die, motherfuckers, die, motherfuckers.
Now this is where I believe again that we've spent a decent amount of time in the Andromeda Galaxy, and by decent, possibly 5 to 10 years, maybe longer. I mean, you can't just start sending huge groups to come and go and colonize and stuff. You gotta send small guys first to do the rest, scout, see if it's even worth going to even send, you know, a bunch of crap. So, you know, you need some time. So that would make sense why it would take, you know, maybe a year or so to start sending actual supplies to colonize. Now remember when I said the Andromeda Galaxy is huge compared to the Milky Way? Yeah, it would take thousands if not hundreds of thousands of years to just colonize a piece of the Andromeda Galaxy. So if the N7 got involved later in the process of still trying to colonize, then this would make sense to why the N7 is here in the Andromeda Galaxy. But then again, this is speculation, and the N7 could simply just be involved right from the beginning because, hey, you know, you're a special task force, you're special, go ahead and lead the battalion to colonize. Anything's possible, you never know. Okay, so now we got a partial glimpse of why we're here in the Andromeda Galaxy, but will we be seeing any familiar faces? I mean, Mass Effect is dead to me if I don't see Liara, because, you know, I got a little crush for the blue girls, you know, Liara, you know, sorry. But speaking of Liara, if you haven't done your research on any species at all, then I'll be helping you, okay? Because you need to know this. It will make sense. So the Asari have an average lifespan of 1,000 years, but we need to keep in mind that with technology we can severely boost the average lifespan of all races. So if Mass Effect Andromeda does take place before the 2900s, I think we most likely would see Liara in Mass Effect Andromeda. She's only 109 in Mass Effect 3, so she's basically 10 to us in human lifespan years, and that's a bad comparison. What about Rex or Grunt? Krogans can live well over 1,000 years, so somebody like Grunt wouldn't have an issue staying alive up to Mass Effect Andromeda, because he's basically a newborn. However, he is aggressive and he probably will get himself killed, but then again he's a badass, so if you're smart and you're loyal, then I think we'll get Grunt. But what about Rex? You know, Rex is an older Krogan, so I don't know if we'll be seeing him, but if Mass Effect Andromeda's time frame isn't so long, then we might be able to see Rex if he's still alive, hopefully. So what about Garrus? Well, unfortunately Turians have an average lifespan nearly identical to humans. Not trying to say that we ain't as good as the other alien races, but dang, they are pretty special. And unless we found ways to significantly increase lifespan of races that have really short lifespans like ours, or the Quarians, or significantly the Vorka, which we don't really care about, do we? I don't think we'll be seeing Garrus or any Turians from Mass Effect 3, which is sad because Garrus is a role model, okay guys? We need him in Mass Effect Andromeda, it is vital. So what about Tali? Although Quarians have an average lifespan similar to humans and Turians, they generally live less longer due to their very weak immune system. Sadly again, I don't think we'll be seeing Tali in Mass Effect Andromeda, but I really do hope I'm wrong because, you know, then again, this is only speculation, but it would make sense if she's alive because everybody loves her, okay? So if we don't see her, you know, by the way, you're gonna piss off a lot of fucking people, I'm just saying. So what about Ashley, Joker, Kaidan, any other human character? I think this is a no-brainer for you guys, but I don't think we'll be seeing any familiar faces at all in Mass Effect Andromeda, unless everything's a lie and a really long time was like 10 years. So what about EDI? EDI should be alive in Mass Effect Andromeda unless you chose the destroy ending, which by the Catalyst words said that all synthetics would be affected or even destroyed with the Reapers. So if you chose the controller synthesis as your ending, then she should be in Mass Effect Andromeda. I wouldn't see an issue with her being in it. What about any Drell, like Kolyat Krios, which is Thane's son? If you don't know who Thane is, don't even buy Mass Effect Andromeda, just buy Mass Effect 2 and then buy Mass Effect Andromeda, okay? But the Drell have an average lifespan of 90 to 100 years. Now this is just an estimate because apparently they live an average of 85 galactic standard years, which for our date compared to galactic standard years, they're just a little bit longer. Yeah, let's just assume that they actually have the shortest lifespans besides the Vorka. I'm not too sure about the jellyfish. that can move. I don't even think we have to worry about jellyfish, because honestly we never really got connected to them like all the other characters that were killed instantly in Mass Effect 3. I mean, right guys? 'Cause that's fucked up, like seriously. And we couldn't forget the one and only Commander Shepard. Will he be back? I think you know the answer to this one, or do you? I'll be making a separate video about this topic. Feel free to subscribe so you don't miss it, because I can promise you that you'll love the answer I'm going to give you. However, don't be so hyped about it, because don't be surprised if he's not in Mass Effect Andromeda. So that pretty much sums up who we might see in Mass Effect Andromeda. I'd have to say though, Mass Effect Andromeda does give me some bad vibes. A lot of us want to see those familiar faces again. In addition, we also want to see some actual clarity after the events of Mass Effect 3. And we don't mean 1,000 years afterwards, we mean like literally afterwards, you know, maybe a couple years after, you know. Alright, so we spent a lot of time speculating what is what, but now it's time to see what we should be expecting in Mass Effect Andromeda from a source on GameSpot. We explore hundreds of solar systems, with the map being 4 times the size of Mass Effect 3, collecting resources and developing your ship, crew, and arsenal while setting up colonies. In addition, you're trying to discover the mystery behind the remnants and the race to secure their technology. Squad mates. Same as the previous games, you make friends and take 2 squad mates with you on missions, and apparently we have leaked info of 2 squad mates named Cora and Drac. Cora can generate biotic shields, and Drac is a Krogan. It doesn't really tell us what Drac can do, but you know, Krogans are badass enough, so it don't matter. Loyalty missions. Same as the previous games, you can increase the loyalty of a particular squad member, in addition to having access to his or her exclusive skill tree. An example of a loyalty mission would be helping Drac track down a Krogan colony ship stolen by outlaws and returning it back to Drac. Loyalty also unlocks special dialogue trees and also has an impact to the endgame. Dialogue. So you get deeper control over your responses, such as interrupting conversations. You can also use action-based choices, which are physical choices, which is possibly Renegade, to shape the course of a conversation. Examples of action choices would be pulling out a gun on somebody to force them to open a door, which is clearly Renegade. So the Tempest Starship, a pilotable ship that you can use to discover hundreds of solar systems. The ship is customizable with trophies, loot, and photos taken through the galaxy. There's also transitions between flying the ship, to landing on a planet, to driving the Mako, to getting out on foot, all together with no loading screens. Yes, I just said no loading screens, and that's a biggie. The Mako, a very familiar vehicle from Mass Effect 1, has an upgradable turbo boost, shield generator, hostile detector, and etc. You can also customize the paint job of it, so that's pretty sexy. This is a land vehicle, guys, if you don't know what the Mako is. So as the planets, over hundreds of surfaces to explore for discovering places to colonize and or discovering alien vaults to conquer. That sounds pretty dang cool, but I hope it doesn't get repetitious. Colonies. You can build specific types of settlements on habitable planets for bonuses. Examples of a specific bonus would be the recon settlements, which help you clear the fog of war, for undiscovered locations on a space map, which also helps strike team missions. We'll get to that later. While a mining settlement helps you collect crafting materials for you, which is very useful in my opinion, because it seems like you're going to be crafting a lot more in this game, which is pretty cool in my opinion. Blueprints. You can craft alien technology, possibly from the remnants, using crafting materials to upgrade or create equipment and weapons. Examples would be a jetpack, a cryo beam to target enemies, and etc. Remnant vault raids. Ruins that when explored give you powerful artifacts, valuable loot, crafting resources, and star keys. Acquiring these materials triggers defensive systems that you'll most likely fight. Orbital facilities. So using star keys, which I'm assuming is a special type of token, to unlock these facilities can provide you permanent stat bonuses and optional choice of difficult vault raids. These facilities contain rare loot and narrative acclaim. I hope we're not playing a Destiny game now. Ket Outpost, an optional wave-based combat challenge that rewards you with XP and helps you reduce Ket power with additional narrative options in the region if destroyed, which is pretty cool. I'm going to be interested about what that's going to be all about. Strike teams. Recruit mercenaries and develop AI-controlled strike teams using your resources to help you with timed, sensitive missions, or you can use them for settlement defense and remnant artifact recovery. Strike teams return 20 to 30 minutes later with XP, currency, and equipment depending on a mission type and their outcome. You can spend more money and resources to train your strike team, in addition to buying them better weapons and equipment to improve their success rate for missions. Now this is going to be pretty cool because I don't think all of us want to spend all of our free time time just going to planets and doing the same thing over and over again, you know, that would be very repetitious. So to cut us the chase on some time, I think these strike teams would be very valuable, and that's pretty cool because it's something that we've never seen yet. So I hope that's going to be a cool feature because I'm going to be looking forward to that. Active strike teams. Similar to single player strike teams, instead you can choose to manually play the mission using your roster of characters online. This means you can play co-op with your friends to get better rewards, and it's also harder difficulty too, so yes. Horde mode. Ooh, just like Mass Effect 3, 4 players fight against a wave of enemies with additional objectives to gain XP and loot rewards. You can earn Apex funds, which is used for single player purposes, which I don't know what those are. So for now, this is everything we know about what Mass Effect Andromeda is all about. And when I say we, it's because I educated you guys. So only time can tell for the most part what we don't know yet, you know, just speculation here and some theories that I got and what others got. So, you know, time can only tell, man. But hopefully I helped you put the puzzle pieces together, in addition to helping you collaborate your thoughts and ideas about the Mass Effect universe. If you have any theories you want to add onto mine, or have your own theory over a subject, please feel free to put it down in the comments below. I'll be there to read it. In addition, if you have any questions over anything and or have any suggestions over a Mass Effect video I should make, feel free to comment down below. Also, make sure to subscribe to my channel if you're interested for more amazing ideas and theories over Mass Effect. And if you want to support me for my hard work, all you need to do is share this video out to your friends and maybe my channel too. That's all you gotta do, guys. Without further ado, enjoy some Uncharted Worlds 8-bit style.